team. Korea has a draft for military service, but some people disagree about it. Every man has to fulfill the military service if they are Koreans. We are under great pressure to protect our country from other countries, especially North Korea. And unlike other countries, our country is always threatened by North Koreans and other nations. People who disagree with draft for military service think that some people have religious belief and the military service forced them to go against it. However, our team thinks that we should have a draft for military service which protects us from the danger. Today, our team has 3 reasons why we should have a draft for military service in Korea. I will provide first 2 reasons, which is that when we don't make it mandatory, no one will come to the military, and secondly, we should protect our country. Also, the Prime Minister will talk about the 3rd argument, which is that there can be inequality between rich and poor. Now that I previewed our main arguments, I will define the motion. We define a draft for military service as the enforcement by the government of its constitutional right to require all citizens of sufficient age and capacity to enter the military service of the country. It is the procedure in which individuals are chosen for conscription. Conscription is the compulsory induction of individuals into the armed services. Now, I will provide our first 2 arguments. Firstly, if we don't have a draft for military service, no one will fulfill the military service. Many people are trying hard not to fulfill the military service. There are lots of news articles about the celebrities' conscription corruption. Not many people will go to the battle to fight because they will not want to be injured and live hard lives. Therefore, if we don't have a draft for military service, there will be no one who will fight for our country. We need military for the nation. They can do things like prevent the disease, making people in order, and other things. Military force helps us a lot. We need organized military force in order to have organized country. And if no one will fulfill the military service, the nation will be out of the order and need them. I've heard that military force buries animals with foot and mouth disease. If there are no military force, citizens who are not prepared will have to do jobs like that. Secondly, we have to have strong security in Korea. Korea should especially be aware that other countries can attack us at any moment. Because we are under draft of North Korea after we were divided into 2 Koreas long times ago. Also, North Korea has a great military and armies with nuclear power. So, we have to be strong with great security. To be strong and to have great security, we will need strong men to protect our country. But if there is no draft for the military service, they will not be able to protect our country, and our country will be very weak and vulnerable. To become a developed country, national security should be well-defined and well-constructed. We should be politically stable to develop the country. Therefore, to become a developed country and to be protected by military force, we need the draft for military service. In conclusion, we strongly believe that we should have a draft for military service in Korea because if we don't have mandatory military service system, no one will fulfill it, and also our country needs strong security. I hope you can think more about it after listening to this and possibly change your mind positively. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I'm the Deputy Prime Leader of Opposition. First speaker, I'm Sam, the leader of opposition, first speaker. Our today's motion is that Korea should have a draft for military service, and we, the opposition, strongly opposed to the motion. Ever since the breakout of the Korean War, the necessity for the military service is getting stronger and stronger, and recently, a little conflicts between South and North Korea, such as Cheonam and Yeonpyeong Island case, is making the relationship between two countries further and further. And so there are decisions that says that we need to reinforce our military power with mandatory service and those opposing to it. So today we are going to debate whether there should be a mandatory service or not. Our first argument will be that it's unfairness for the poor, and our second argument will be about the mandatory service will only increase number but not the quality. And our third argument will be that the draft won't work. Our first argument, it's necessary for national security Our first argument that it's unfair for the poor. During the Vietnamese War, the American commander in Vietnam, William Westmoreland, was quoted as saying that the draft was discriminatory and undemocratic and resulted in war being fought by the poor man's sons. People who could afford to go to college and had the grades to get in were given exemptions or deferments that enabled them to serve in National Guards or escape the draft entirely. Individuals whose family is wealthy or has political connection can also pull strings to prevent them from being drafted. Actions like this leave people who are poor or uneducated to make up a segment of the army that's disproportionate to their size in Korean military population. And our second argument, that the mandatory service will only increase the numbers but not the quality. Conscriptions mean purchasing and maintaining a lot of unnecessary equipments for people who most probably will never fight in conflict, and if they indeed did, they won't be as useful as professional soldiers or professional armies due to lack of training. It is economically wiser to have a smaller but well-equipped professional army than millions of soldiers lacking weapons, transporters, and experience, to say the least. And now I will rebut to the Prime Minister's speech. Their first argument was that no one will participate in the service, and if they don't, the national security will get in much more danger. However, as our deputy leader of opposition will say later, the number of soldiers in Marine military have increased even after the attack on the Yeonpyeong Island. So it can be rebutted to their first argument. Their second argument was about national security. They said we need as much participations from older males in the Korea as possible. But as I have already said in my second argument, the participations from older male just only increase the number but not the quality. So it's not that effective to the emerging breakout of the war between South and North Korea. And that's why we, the opposition, strongly believes that Korea should not have draft for military service. Thank you for listening.